Hi, I'm Steve DeVilbiss, and welcome to Fireside Chats. My partners, Taryn and Christina, have shared with you some useful information about the characteristics of Down syndrome and about the occupational therapy interventions that are available to us as future practitioners. I would like to share with you some information that I found interesting from the Journal of Occupational Therapy International. But first, let's have a seat by the fire. The article I will be sharing with you is titled, Parents' Leisure, the Impact of Raising a Child with Down Syndrome, and again comes from the Journal of Occupational Therapy International. Much of what we have learned about in class involves the impact of the condition on the client, but we rarely consider the impact of the condition on the family, the caregiver, and including the parents. In many situations, we will be assisting the family as part of our treatments, and in order to do so, we must be empathetic to their situation as much as possible. The article begins by expressing the importance for us as occupational beings to keep a balance between work, leisure, and the activities of daily living. A healthy and productive lifestyle depends upon this balance. The purpose of the research was to describe some of the factors that affected the leisure occupations of these parents. 4 married couples who were raising children with Down syndrome between the ages of 7 to 9 years were interviewed in depth. These parents' ages ranged from 33 to 56 years of age, all living in New Jersey. The highest level of education of the participants varied from high school degrees to postgraduate educations. Their employment also ranged from homemakers to seasonal workers to civil servants to lawyers. Qualitative data regarding leisure and the impact of raising a child with Down syndrome on parents' leisure occupations was collected using the Barth time construction. The Barth time construction provides information on a person's use of time over a 1-week period. The adaptive version, adapted by the researchers, gathers information on one typical weekday and one typical weekend day of each parent. The parents were asked to define leisure. Their answers fell into 2 distinct categories. One group defined leisure as fun, enjoyment, and anything that lacked obligation. The other group defined leisure as simply a state of being, and as one parent stated, just having your mind to yourself. Bob, a father of 2, said, basically, raising a child with Down syndrome and also raising a typically developing child is like taking a biophysics course versus taking a football course. That's how big of a challenge it is for me. Through analysis and interpretation of the data collected, it was clear that for these parents, raising a child with Down syndrome impacted on leisure in ways similar to raising a typically developing child. For example, less time for leisure, changes in types of leisure, increased planning and scheduling required, and changes in social relationships. However, the degree of impact was much greater for those parents raising a child with Down syndrome. More time helping the child results in less time for leisure. Bonnie expressed a need to find someone she really trusts to watch her child for her in her absence. Bonnie also reported a change in social relationships due to having a daughter with Down syndrome, noting that following the birth of her daughter, many of her relationships changed and even fizzled out, as her friends did not know how to act around her. Overall, these parents expressed satisfaction with leisure and time spent on daily occupations during typical days, though noting that it depended on their expectations. Most reported they would be happy with more leisure time, but accepted their schedules and the demands of parenting and have adapted. Well, it looks like we're out of time. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Fireside Chats. I'm Steve DeVilbiss. Stay warm.